Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of the Drunken Under Quarantine show presented to you by the Wool and Mill Comedy Club. And this week, we're stoked. Colin's going to be here in a few minutes. GW's here, and we welcome MotoVlogger Kaptain Granite to the show. This is going to be a good one. Let's get it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 42 of the Drunken Under Quarantine show. And yet again, we had another crazy week that we're going to dive into. We're going to talk about Gina Carano getting canceled and rehired in the same week. We're going to talk about the fact that Kat Von D is getting sued for making art based on other people's art. We're going to talk a little bit about the Teflon Don and his acquittal. And lastly, we're going to talk about some shit that's going on in New Hampshire, because that's where Captain's from. And they're our neighbor state. We figured that'd be fun to talk about. But without further ado, I will welcome a good friend of mine and co-host to the show. Please welcome to the spotlight stage, Mr. G.W. Foley.
Hey! Showing my tits. Yeah. Show them.
Shake them,
oh, shaking that baby. Shake what my mama gave me. Yeah. I don't know why I was doing that. That has nothing to do with my week whatsoever. I know what it is. I'm drinking tequila and orange juice.
Nice.
Because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Bridesmaid.
Let's see. So I was told to talk about the story of me dropping my math class. And so hopefully it's as funny as everyone else thinks it is in my household. So originally what happened, I was having a hard time figuring out the math in my math book for my first math class that I got. Like, I could not understand it for the life of me. And I emailed the professor saying, hey, I'm not getting this. Can I get some help? And he goes, sure, call me. And so I call him, leave a message, and he calls me right back. And he goes, so, what's your major? Is there a lot of math involved in it? I'm like, no, it's design. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you should just drop this. And I'm like, he's like, this is just like a catch-up portion. Like, we haven't even gotten to the real hard stuff yet. And which made me go, well, fuck me. This is not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Which I did all right in math, but I really struggled, and I'm trying to explain this to him, and he's like, yeah, no, drop it. And he's like, and how old are you? I'm like, I'm 40. He's like, yeah, you're way past getting this. This is something that for the young kids. I'm just like, how? Like, I should be able to understand this. I'm not a moron. He's like, no, just I would drop it. Drop the class and do something easier. Which I did. I did drop the class and did something easier. And it was the worst mistake. Like, I wish I just didn't have it at all. Like I should have just taken the L and been like, no math for me this semester. Let's stick with the 4 credits and call it good. But oh no, I had to be stupid and sign up for a different math class. Which by the time I got everything settled, I was 2.5 weeks late on my project. So it literally took me all of last week to do 8 sections of math, which realizing that, like, I wish I had the same conversation with my new math professor that I had with the old one, where he would just be like, just drop it. Just we'll find some kind of stupid dumb math for you. That I've been driving around lately with my mother-in-law, just because I've been her chauffeur as her knee surgery has been healing.
Yep.
And she can't drive. So I have a new game where I like taking her to places where she hasn't been in town. And just being like, oh God, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. and kind of freaking her out a little bit. Or not saying anything and just taking like obviously wrong turns and being like, oh, do you know where we are? No, you don't? It's all fun and dandy until she points out houses that I can't afford. I'm like, oh, that one's for sale. Like, yeah, I can't afford that. Well, maybe if you had a job. Which, speaking of having a job, as I die from choking.
Another liquid.
Yeah. Tequila is not a good lubricant or orange juice. It's quite harsh. Don't ever do that. This is for dancing, not for talk shows. No, so I'm worried that my unemployment payments are running out, and I'm gonna have to get a job on top of going to college, which is the big fear for me, because I don't want to go back to some minimum wage job. Like I realize that they're increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, but those jobs still suck. Like they should be paid a lot more because of how much shit you have to deal with when you have one of those jobs. And I'm not saying that like the government should be mandate people to pay that. I'm just saying that in general, the job should be worth a lot more than what it is. If anyone has bagged groceries before, will completely understand that. You're dealing with people, which means that you should have at least another $5 minute or $5 an hour increase. Just because fucking people are stupid. And I know because I am one. Like I'm a complete moron, and I feel bad watching like these baggage handlers like do shit. Like I feel really bad because I know what kind of fucking moron I am, and I know there's people dumber than me in the world. So I can just imagine all the shit that they have to put up with. Secondly, just the fact that like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you can't leave until your scheduled break. I think that's another $5. So I think we're already up to $25 an hour just to do baggage handling. Like everyone else, fuck them. I don't care. Like, go cut meat in the back. Yeah, you don't need that much money. You're by yourself. But yeah, so that was kind of my week, and I'm gonna ramble on for a couple more seconds till Colin gets back to his seat. Which, he was so close.
He's making a firm effort, I think.
Yeah,
I think he was teasing
there
me.
he is. Oh, there he is. Let's turn it over to Colin and see how his week was.
Nope, I can't hear you.
Smile with my heart. You guys missed that. That's Funny Valentine. I had it on YouTube. That's not so funny fuck up I just made. It's good to be here. Hope everyone had a wonderful Valentine's Day. And by wonderful Valentine's Day, no one has as a man, you don't have a good Valentine's Day. You just don't screw it up. Right? That's it. There's no such thing as an exceptionally good Valentine's Day or doing a good job. You made a nice dinner. You got chocolate. You got flowers. You wore something sexy. You might have put the cologne on. That is just what's expected. You didn't go above and beyond. There's I don't know what you would have to do on Valentine's Day to be like, he really went above and beyond this year. Yeah. He slaughtered the lamb himself and then made lamb chops. It was unbelievable. I think it's weird how we try to sell all these different products, like Dawn dish soap. You know, Dawn dish soap. I had a friend who was telling about washing his dog. His dog has white fur, and he's like, Dawn dish soap goes better than any soap you can get because the blue brings the white out. And I'm like, yeah, just look at what it does with those fucking ducks, right? I mean, those things are fucking covered with oil. And somehow we Dawn dish those things back to life. I don't know how. You're a fucking baby duck and you got oil in your lungs, but you know you need Dawn dish soap. Have you ever thought about that? A little Dawn dish soap. And it's like, what a weird way of advertising a product, of coming on television and being like, you know, when we just screw up royally and we potentially eradicate an entire species of earthlings, Dawn dish soap. That's how we almost killed like an entire species of animal. Dawn dish soap. That's what you need. It's like you're killing everything. It's like being like, honestly, it's like the polar bears are dying. Coca-Cola. All right? Freaking. I don't know. I mean, people have been saying that it's like a terrible year or a terrible time to own a business, right? Everyone's like, oh, 2020 and 2021 was the worst year to own a business. I don't think we have a good year to own like a cemetery or a funeral home, right? I mean, there had to be an upswing somewhere, right? Where someone who owns a cemetery is like, gotta tell you right now, I'm going to have to build another lot. Running out of places to put people. You know what I mean? Somewhere in Florida, they'd be like, I'd plant them out back if it wasn't a fucking bayou. You know what I mean? As you guys know, but for those of you watching the program right now, know, I'm a proud Vermonter. And I feel like when you're a Vermonter, you don't have to like try to be tough. You know, like I see like a lot of different people in the country and like the South, you know, like, oh, we're tough. You know, like, and in the North, we're so tough, we don't even have to fucking pretend to be tough, right? It is what it is. It's like, of course I know how to butcher and slaughter an animal and build a fire with my bare hand and build shelter in the middle of the sub-zero temperatures and start fire with nothing but these. I'm a Vermonter, you know? Like, it bothers me sometimes when I see these guys that aren't like, you're like, I don't particularly enjoy spending time in the woods, you know what I mean, anymore. Could I leave my apartment with no clothes on in the sub-zero temperatures and probably somehow miraculously survive the night? Yes, I could. I'm a Vermonter. That's what we do. So I'd come back the next day wearing pine boughs and people would be like, what? I lived, motherfucker. This is what we do, right? Doesn't mean I take any sort of pleasure out of it, you know? Like, some people will be like, I'm going to make a fire with my bare hands. I'm going to catch the fish. I'm going to cook it over the fire. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. If I don't do that, I'm going to die. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to do that and then meanwhile go back to my kitchen that's filled with food. You know, the day that goes that I have to strangle a deer with my bare hands and flay it, you know, with nothing but a sharpened stone, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm not saying I'm going to take pleasure in it any more than I usually do. But that's really how my weekend went. Melancholy Valentine's Day. I decided to wear my little pocket square hair tonight, so Hickory's not the only one dressed up. You know, And I'd like to kick it over to the main man, Hickory. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, sir. Thank you for being here. I actually had a aunt the other day be like, I've never seen Hickory like in a dress shirt. It was just a couple weeks ago, actually, after Christmas, when she saw all my gifts, and I had some dress shirts. Which, Mom, thank you. This color is awesome. I'm a big fan.
Thank you, Mom.
But she was like, I've never seen him wear a dress shirt anywhere, and she was just like, his show's been going for 40 fucking weeks, Barb. Get with the fucking program. Anyways, I'm gonna perform a small feat of magic. This is I enjoy this. I'm trying out this angle. We'll see if this works. If you guys have any issues with it, that's cool. And we'll figure it out later. But so I'm gonna do first is just show you guys that, in fact, these cards are all the same. And then I'm going to riffle through, and Captain, I'm going to ask you to just say stop whenever you'd like, my friend.
Stop.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good? Oh. And you happen to select Nine of Spades, which I almost forgot there's one other part for this. Yes. I'm going to try to do a classic of magic, and it happens to work better with a glue stick. This is going to be great. This is Hickory's version of the torn and restored card. So you guys can see that. Yeah, you kind of got to rip it straight for it to work. And I'm not very good at that part, but okay. So if I were to kind of put that together and do it like a, you'd find that the card was okay, we'll try that one more time. Just give it another little tear. And like sometimes this trick is great and it works super well. Maybe we'll try putting it in the box this time. We'll try like enchanting it. And that, yeah, that didn't work. But I did manage to change your card into a King of Hearts. So I guess there's that. You know, Hickory doesn't win every time, but you know, if you hit like, you know, 1 out of 5, like that's good enough. But there could have been something crazy that just happened between the box and the. Let's try this.
Okay.
I got a crazy hunch going on. That maybe instead of healing that card, it got switched. I just wanted to do this because it looked like I was getting the slowest erection ever.
Well, hot damn.
And was that your card, my friend?
That was indeed.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I enjoy that. The breakdown doesn't go so great, but that'll be fine. Anyways, thank you guys for tolerating my magic. And without further ado, we'll bring on the guest of honor for the hour. I'm very excited to have this man back. For those who didn't know, Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming and Kaptain Granite happen to come from the same cinematic universe, which is kind of crazy. And Colin was in that, but you knew because Colin and I have been on camera before. But Kaptain Granite happens to live in the same cinematic universe as us, which is fucking awesome. Very excited to welcome celebrated MotoVlogger and motorcycle guy extraordinaire, which I'm very, very jealous of because I wish I had the balls to get one, or that the beautiful assistant would allow me to. But anyways, welcome to our spotlight stage. Please welcome Kaptain Granite.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, sir.
And, you know, for me to take that leap from where I was, because, I mean, Colin and Kyle, you guys both knew me from way back. I don't think I was one to, you'd go, he's going to be a motorcycle rider. No, not even kind of. Taking the first steps and going and doing the MSF course, the motorcycle safety course, changed it. Like, I fell in love in the first hour. Like, completely just changed my whole mindset. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to shift it. I thought I was going to stall it out. And then, you know, I got this 70-year-old woman in my class who's doing circles around me. I'm like, hot damn, if she can do it, I can do it. and then she locked up the front brakes and went headfirst into a steel fence. But she somehow passed. And I'm standing there. I'm like, this lady just passed. I'm actually terrified that she's out on the roadway. I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, I've been doing the whole motovlogging for about 5 years now, going on 6. Basically, if no one knows what that is, I have a helmet on with a camera, with a microphone inside. I just talk to myself. I tell stories. I see what's in front of me. I give different reviews, call people names, judge them. Fun stuff.
So you do, sorry to interrupt, you do record the audio live?
I do.
Oh, I always thought it was voiceover. That's awesome.
Nope. I've found a way to actually have the microphone pretty much in my mouth, and kind of reduce the wind noise that I get. But of course, going 70 plus miles per hour at sometimes, I can't stop all the wind noise. But I love doing it. I mean, it's taken me this long to get to where I'm at with it, and it's a great community that I'm in. And for the winter time, of course, I can't take the bike out in the winter. It's kind of frowned upon, and I get looked at weird. I've been doing like Twitch streaming, so I've been playing video games, having fun on there, and growing in that community as well. Pretty rapidly, actually. It's a little weird.
That's awesome.
I got to spend the night, Valentine's night, with some boys playing some PUBG, and kind of trying to help one of my buddies mend his broken heart because he's a truck driver. His home is in Tennessee. He's in Michigan. And we're sitting there playing. I'm like, get right. What's the matter? Because you could tell he was down. And I said, get right. What's the matter? He goes, I just had to hang up on my woman. And I said, why? I was like, what's the matter? He goes, this is so damn hard for a man to get a titty pic. So upset. He was so sad and down the dumps, and I offered mine. He declined. But just trying to mend broken hearts.
Oh.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Hey, thank you for joining us, my friend.
I was going to say, you're going to have to connect with my friend at Kitty Cosmos on Twitch and see if we can mend a little broken heart right there.
That's good. I don't like seeing him down the dumps.
No.
Yeah, that's tragic, especially on Valentine's Day.
Especially on Valentine's Day.
But Captain, thank you for joining us. This is awesome. This is a great fucking crossover. I'm very excited about this. And we're going to start this show, the talk show portion of the show, as we normally do. And we're simply just going to ask, Captain, how has Corona time been treating you?
Quite a bit, actually. As my screen just goes black on me here. That was weird. Quite a bit. My job that I do, besides the motovlogging, actually requires me to travel. Because what I do is I'm a compliance officer for a paper packaging company. So we have 2 factories, one in Indonesia, one in China. I can't go to either one of them. So I'm a little bit stuck at home. We don't work from the office anymore, which is actually right down the road. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm working from home, and the last day of actually being in the office was quite awesome because my boss came in and he goes, we're going to start working from home starting the end of the day today. Take what you need to fulfill your job. He didn't expect me to take my monitor that was on my desk, but I did. So literally everyone's walking out of the office, and I have my computer monitor that's company property, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you said to take anything I need to fulfill my job. So I kind of took that with me. As for content videos, also a bit difficult because one of my main videos that I do every year is Laconia Bike Week. Didn't really happen this past year. We did drive or ride through it, there's probably 20 people there.
Oh, wow.
And usually there's thousands. And I didn't even record. I was like, it's not even worth my time. There's one tent set up, and it was classic T-shirts. I mean, that's pretty much all Laconia Bike Week is a T-shirt vendor. But
we expect more out of the live free or die state.
That's not going to happen. That won't happen. They're so backwards here. But like it makes me actually miss Vermont quite a bit. And I mean, I grew up in the same town as Colin, and there was actually a time when I moved over here. I was going to school to become a firefighter and EMT, and I was going to come back. And every time I came back to visit, I'd be at my parents' house. A fire tone, EMS tone to go out, and it was someone that died. Happened like 6 times in a row, and I went, "I'm not coming back." I'm like, "This is ridiculous." Every time I come, someone dies. But I do actually like really miss Vermont. But I've been here for so long now; it's just it's my home now. And with everything still closed up and no end in sight really for all this crap, it's going to be a little bit difficult getting the whole content out this coming year, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
I always say when I perform in Maine that the best part of New Hampshire is the view of Vermont and Maine.
I'll drink to that.
I was actually going to ask follow up. Is that, do you think Laconia is going to happen this year, or in your mind, do you think we're probably looking at another year of no bike shows?
They're planning on it. They're full on planning on it. The crappy thing right now is their actual Bike Week headquarters just burnt to the ground a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
They lost everything, like old records, old vintage photos from the first couple of years of the event. They lost everything. So I
that your fault?
It was not my fault.
I'm just thinking like when you go back to Vermont, people die. I didn't know if like you left the
You show up to Laconia headquarters and all the photos burned. It's like the Grim Reaper on a motorcycle.
Might have crossed my mind. I just drive by, throw a road flare in the window.
They're like, you try to come up with a punchline to this, and it just ends up reading like something like the fucking like letter from the chairman of the Laconia like fucking Bike Week to everybody. Like, as you know, 2020 was a tough year. The coronavirus was really terrible. And then I burned to the ground all the fucking records we have of all the past events.
Well, the funny thing is, how you just said that, is the guy that is the chairman of the Laconia Motorcycle Week, he was a state representative, and he just lost in the election. So I'm just like, he's not making money, so he might need some insurance money.
Yeah, it's somehow isn't that funny how he loses the election and all of a sudden his office burns to the ground. And he's like, I have no idea what happened, but I'm pretty sure I'm entitled to fucking 60 years worth of Laconia fucking Bike Week.
Right.
Words.
As he kicks the gas can aside, like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, everyone's like, has the mayor always smelled like gasoline, or is that something new?
Either that or the other side is he's just having the worst fucking month of his life. Like, can you imagine? Like, you lose your position, like people vote you out because they think you suck, and then on top of that, your fucking history burns up. Yeah,
like the next thing is kid's just gonna end up quadriplegic. It's just like this is the week this guy's having. It's like that the Outsider on HBO. Did you see that Stephen King thing?
No.
It was like that was the whole premise. It was like once one bad thing happened, just like it set an event, this fucking thing where the next thing you know, like everything just goes to hell, And then the guy's like, kid's dead, and it's like then he's hanging himself from a rafter, and you're just like, boy, that escalated quickly. That is
What a twist!
I think it's called like The Outsider or The Outland, not The Outlander, but it's Jason from Jason Sudeikis, Jason Schwartz. I can't remember actors' names. It's a terrible thing.
Wait, hold on. Let's pause for a second. You, out of all people, can't remember actors' names.
And I can't recognize faces. I've been on set. Usually the biggest star of the film, I'll just walk up to and be like, hey, how you doing? You know what a coffee is or something? I never. It's terrible. It's terrible. I met last year. One of the highlights of 2020 was I met Nicole Kidman and her husband, and I couldn't remember his name, and I texted my sister, and I'm like, I'm talking to Nicole Kidman right now, and I'm like, and her husband, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's a famous singer, and she texted me back. She's like, it's Keith Urban, you fucking idiot. and I mean, I'm lucky I remembered that's what his name was, and his two kids. Keith Urban's very lovely, Nicole Kidman lovely. Speak with wicked Aussie accents when they're not on camera. And an Aussie accent, if you don't know, bilingual sounds like you're going on years all the time. And that's how Nicole Kidman talks when she's not being the most gorgeous woman on cinema.
Just to put this in perspective, Captain, Colin is like, his sports are commercial acting. Like, no joke. He's the one, he said it before on camera, but to reiterate, he's the type of guy that'll tell you to shut the fuck up during a commercial because he knows the stats of the person in the ad. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I don't know anything about that football game, but Flo here. Flo. She's been going like 30 years. This chick is royalty.
Well, I remember when Colin had the FedEx commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I see it come on TV, and I went, oh, I know him.
We should actually pull that up on the show later. That'd be fun to watch that. Let's.
I actually think I called my dad. I was like, did you just see that? He's like, what? I'm like, that was Colin. And he goes, no. I'm like, uh-huh.
But since we're on the topic of actors, we'll use that to segue right into the next part. We're going to talk about Gina Carano got canceled. She got canceled she was one of the leads, right? I don't really watch Star Wars because I don't enjoy it.
She was a support character.
Okay. But she was lined up to probably get her own spinoff. She got canceled for, quote, being anti-Semitic. And then Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jewish man who runs the Daily Wire, hired her the day she got fired, which is pretty entertaining. I didn't know if you guys had seen the tweet and had any thoughts on it. I did pull up an article. I will share that on screen real quick so we can look at it and get a little more context. Every article I found about this was very targeted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they said actress Gina Carano. This is Forbes, so I mean, as unbiased as I could get, I suppose.
I'm sorry. I thought Bernie was actually photoshopped in that photo of her for a second.
Oh, that would have been great.
Lost it.
Oh man, I'm probably just gonna do that with everything I do from here on out. It said, oh, wrong article. Sorry. That one. Nope, that one. Okay, sorry. So actress Gina Carano will produce a star for the conservative commentator Ben Shapiro's website, The Daily Wire. The website announced Friday. As the performer finds favor on the right after being fired from Disney Plus series The Mandalorian over controversial social media social media posts that likened Republicans' treatment by Democrats to Nazi Germany, which I would say she didn't actually mention any party in that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Carano's film will be released exclusively to the Daily Wire's members and be part of its partnership. Carano said in her statement that prayer was answered with the film and she was sending out a direct message to hope for everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. She was also dropped by her talent agency, UTA, and by her publicist after this, which is... I'm pretty sure that's a pretty big deal. I don't know much about commercial acting, but I would assume getting dropped by your talent agency is a big deal, especially when you're a headline star. Conservatives denounced Carano's firing as, quote, cancel culture, unquote. and Republicans being discriminated against over their beliefs, with Senator Ted Cruz slamming Disney for, quote, canceling, unquote, actress after she broke barriers in the Star Wars universe. The critical quote is, "I have only just begun with using my voice now, which is freer than ever before, and I hope that inspires others to do the same. They cannot cancel us if we don't let them." And see if the... Now, I was going to see if the actual tweet was in there, but it's not, so we'll just close that out and ask you guys what you thought. She got canceled for basically saying, "Don't hate your neighbors." That's how... I wish I could find it. I'm not gonna pull it up because I don't want to get the show axed over somebody else's words. But effectively, did any of you guys see the tweet or the?
I did see the tweet.
And effectively, correct me if I'm wrong, GW. She basically said, "Don't hate your neighbors," because that's what happened in Germany before everything awful went on. Is that?
She said it.
Is that citizens were hating citizens, and that literally kids were assaulting Jews in the street, and said that you should not demonize your neighbor because that's how things escalate there. I'm doing a really bad word phrasing it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. And I mean, I get what she's saying, but possibly she could said it differently.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's and I think it's stupid that someone will get canceled over something. It wasn't offensive. Maybe the picture that she put with it was offensive, where it was a woman in her undergarments running from a mob of people.
Yep.
Yeah, and she was like bleeding from the face too.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And I could see that being an offensive image, but I don't know. We need to get thicker skin.
I did she use the words Nazi Germany?
I'm trying
Not
to find
directly.
it right
Not directly.
now. No, but she did not reference either party either.
Well, this is an elusive text where she shows a woman getting her face beaten on Twitter, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It was either Twitter or Instagram.
Now, here's my stance. Would you get actors off of Twitter? I promise you, I will never have any type of management write me and be like, "Colin, you posted this dumbass thing that now you are being blacklisted from the motherfucking Mandalorian, the hottest show on Disney, because you posted some dumbass thing. You're on Mandalorian. Shut up. You don't have an opinion. This is your opinion. Shut up." Right? Your opinions just go lay by the pool until you have to be on the #1 television show on motherfucking Disney. You know, just shut up. And then people get on Twitter, and every single time, I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on anything. Not that anyone would probably think anything of I posted something completely absurd, but I assure you, the day I have something to lose.
Which is a good point. But yeah, she said Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where the Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different for hating? How is that any different for hating someone from their political views?
Two big different things. I hate a lot of things, but I beat very few things with a stick.
This is true.
The old Jew speaks. I hate a lot of fucking Jews, but I beat very little with a stick. You know. Here's my thought for everyone: stop talking about Jews. Stop talking about Nazis, and stop equating everything to Hitler and Nazi Germany. Because the second you say anything like that, if I came on and I said Nazi Germany and Hitler is like Nazi Germany and Hitler in World War II, I will be blacklisted. All right? So just don't talk about it anymore. Like, that should just be a blank period of history right now where we stop talking about it. Because the more people talk about, like, they say Nazis, they talk about it, you're talking about such an extreme thing. Like the Nazis were the most extreme, you know.
Oh,
So
one of the most extreme.
one of them.
I'd say the fascists under Stalin were a little more extreme.
Probably. But you know what I mean? Like, I mean, do we have to start equating everything to complete and utter genocide? You know, like that time where we stacked them, 30,000 deep. You know.
No, it is. The whole thing is fucking strange to me. Because I've been seeing mainstream personalities call fucking rednecks racists and bigots and Nazis for fucking years, and nobody gave a shit. And it's the second they equate them to the other side that it's a big deal. I don't know. As far as my personal opinion, free speech is free speech, and you can say whatever the fuck you want. That being said, Disney has the right to fire her, but I mean, Disney also thanked the people that protect the concentration camps in China. So I don't have a very high opinion of Disney to begin with. Fuck those people. Well,
no, certainly. I mean, Disney has a lot of blood on their hands. But that's why I think that it's difficult because as an actor, I guess you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And some of the people who've been incredibly successful, like Tom Cruise and different ones, like they've never made themselves political figures. And I think the second you decide to make yourself a political figure, you have made a pretty, you're making a decision. And like in the same way, like paparazzi attack actors, I always say, that was the actor's decision. Don't ever take pictures of their kids or their family or something like that, because that's not their decision. But if I decide that I want to act, that's my decision. When you become a politician and you make political statements, that is your decision, so like you're going to be held to those ideologies, I think. And if you're making a political stance and it's not your business because you're an actor or something else, you got to realize that the company that you work for might not share the same ideology as you. And now you've made a public stance on something, and then you're going to get fired because that doesn't align with whatever that agenda is that they're trying to accomplish.
We got a comment in from Manasa saying she'd done some pretty problematic stuff even before the Nazi Germany tweets, which I've seen online.
She's had some pretty messed up tweets before this.
Oh, okay. That doesn't surprise me.
But like when I met her, because I met her a few years back, I mean, it was like one of those little quick meet and greets, but she seemed nice. She seemed to like have everything together. But you got to remember, the job that she had before this was getting punched in the face quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that's true. She was an MMA fighter, not only an MMA fighter, but with a good record.
Kaptain Granite.
We have to remember how much has been knocked loose up there.
That's a very good point. That being said, on the flip side of this argument, I'm kind of excited that she's going to be working with the Daily Wire and producing some content, because I don't know if any of you guys saw their first go at a movie. Not awful. Run, Hide, Fight was not an awful film. So it'll be exciting to see what they... I don't know if you guys know that Daily Wire has actually opened their own film studio, and they're working on the culture part of politics and culture as well. So it's kind of cool to see. We'll see what happens. Any more comments on Gina before we move on?
I'm just busy staring at her boobs.
I hear ya. That bitch can knock me out so fast.
In a recap, you've heard me say it before, and I will continue to say it. Why are celebrities not using some type of filter on these platforms? Like, the president could have just spared that. Donald Trump, I hate to say it, would probably still be the president if it wasn't for Twitter. If they had just removed his ass from Twitter and just he sat there and he never said half of the outrageous shit he said on Twitter day in, day out, he'd probably still be the president. Twitter does so much more damage to almost everybody's career than it does amplify that career. Like, oh, I made a funny joke. I'm a comedian. Look at my funny joke on Twitter. But most of the time, you're going to be chastised or blasted or criticized on any type of opinion or point of view you try to make. So it's like they win because it's like, oh, give me your point of view, GW, even though I know it's wrong, regardless of what you say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the second you say it, now you're wrong. You know. So.
Comment back. I agree. Probably the best thing Trump could have done was to go to Gab or Minds or any other fucking alt tech site that would have opened him
everybody,
with.
I'm at Gabs now.
They
follow me at Gabs.
So Gab,
President of the United States.
This is funny, actually. Gab backed up his entire Twitter, like without his permission. Like Gab backed up his entire Twitter account onto Gab just in case, because they were like hitting him up with messages all the time saying, "Hey,
I got my whole Twitter backed up. It's all backed up, and let me tell you, it's backed up for real. Okay, super backed up on Gab."
Donald Trump's MySpace is coming back.
He's like, "We backed up the MySpace. We
Tom
actually
is a good man. Tom is my best friend."
I bet."
I backed up my PayPal, and let me tell you, I made some big payments on the PayPal. I paid one guy $2,000 on PayPal one time, and there were some huge payments.
I heard somebody pushing the other day, like, "Oh, somebody should buy MySpace for like, I forget what it was. It's up for sale for like $5 million or something stupid cheap as far as tech goes." And they're just like, "Yeah, but it doesn't work like that anymore. It's all music and stuff now."
Yeah.
Fortunate. But sticking with current social topics, we're gonna move right on to Kat Von D got sued for making art based on other art. And I do have an article pulled up for this one because GW actually sent us this before the show.
I done good.
And here we go. Look at that. She's like kind of pretty still. So it says Los Angeles. Just making sure I'm on right there. Yeah. Okay. Los Angeles photographer is suing tattoo artist Kat Von D over a Miles Davis tattoo she drew for a customer and posted to Instagram, according to a 31-page complaint filed Sunday. In the filing, photographer Jeffrey Sedek claims Von D's tattoo constitutes copyright infringement of his image and alleges he is the sole and exclusive owner of the copyright of an iconic portrait of Davis, which he created in '89 and first published in the cover story Jazziz magazine around August '89. Sadiq said he independently created the image and has offered and sold non-exclusive copyright licenses to others to reproduce, distribute, and display it. Apparently Kat Von D did not request a license to reproduce the work. Von D posted a picture that showed her copying Sadiq's picture and tattooing it onto a man's shoulder on March 18th, 2017 on her personal Instagram account, which has over 7 million followers. Von D captioned the post, "Can't believe it's the first time I've been on a tattoo portrait of Miles Davis. Thank you, Blake, for letting me tattoo you." And the caption also tags the defendant High Voltage Tattoo with his Instagram username High Voltage for the purpose of promoting and soliciting sales to products. Anyways, so she is getting sued for tattooing a photo onto somebody is what I'm basically getting the gist of there. G-Dubs, did you pull something else out of there that you thought?
No, I thought the whole idea was just interesting in the fact of what do you do when something's out in the ether? Apparently sue over it. I get that this is this man's work and he makes money off of it, but why sue the guy who got the tattoo also?
Not to interrupt, Jason commented in and said I wouldn't last 5 minutes on Twitter, and I hear you, Jason. That's why I don't have one. That's why I have a Parler, which is fucking back. So very excited about that. People follow me on Parler at Hickory TDAU, or who knows? Maybe I'll post increasingly offensive stuff and see if they will boot me.
It's always worth a shot, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny though because like with the when Obama had the Hope poster and his head was like standing like this and it was like Hope.
Yep.
Right? There was a photographer who took that photo. Okay, he was a creative director in New York who made that poster, and he found this image that was of the bone structure that he liked for the image that he did, and the guy tried to come back and sue him because that image was from the photo that this guy took from a particular distance in a press thing of that particular alignment of the jaw structure and everything. And he made a whole case about it, and he just wanted his fucking money, right? We all just want our money. I found out this morning that Let's Grow Kids Vermont actually did a television commercial. And to go back to commercial acting, my niece is in that commercial. They took a picture of her and they put my 2.5-year-old niece in their first television commercial. So of course, her parents are saying, you're not the only star in the family in commercials anymore. But that likening to that image is probably subject to compensation, And so at a certain point, where is the gray line of what images should or should not be paid for, and what you should be entitled to, especially in the public domain, or in images like with Facebook, everything put up now is in the public domain. Now they can take that commercial picture of you, put you on television, you're not entitled to $1. Well, now you're in the public domain. Well, does that really make sense?
So I would almost argue that famous photo of him has been put up on Facebook. So is that technically in the public domain?
There you go.
Probably. The beautiful assistant comments in and says the only crime that, well, I'll add in the text, the only crime that Kat Von D has committed is charging $20 for half a stick of eyeliner. Yeah, I would agree. Beautiful assistant. Her makeup is way more expensive than it should be for no reason.
It's because of her name. Yeah, because I know when I think of Kat Von D's, I don't think of Jesse James in the Nazi outfit.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually going to run a little bit over. Captain, I hope that's all right with you. We're already at like 53, and we got a little bit more to get through.
I'm just thinking, I'm looking at all my tattoos. I'm like, hell, half of these are all from Pinterest.
It's a good thing, you're not going to get sued for it. Or actually, I guess it would be the tattoo artist that did it. So
come at me, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, come and get me, Dragon Ball. No, this is the thing. I mean, I think, can we not separate a line of like, is something being used for commercial exploitation? Yes or no? Is something being used for personal consumption or something like that? I feel like if something has the ability to gain money, then there should be compensation. If you're making money on it, then you should be paying for money on that. If you're not making money on it, then you shouldn't necessarily have to pay for it, right?
Agreed. Like it's a weird.
It should be that simple,
Well, in that case, you can say that she was making money off of it because she got paid to do the tattoo.
If and then not only that, if all of a sudden that tattoo, say you become a major celebrity or people are filming that tattoo and it gets major exposure and that tattoo becomes something. Like there was a thing where actually the volleyball players for the U.S. Olympics, the females, there was such little real estate on the bathing suit to put like sponsorships. They were doing like temporary tattoo. So then all the girl has like a temporary tattoo on her ass, right? That says something like that, and she's spiking the ball, and then all of a sudden people are thinking Band-Aid. So it's one of those things where, I don't know. You gotta look at it with a microscope, right? Band-Aid.
It is strange, like the monetization versus non-monetization, and like I've thought about this, like as you viewers know that down there, Bernie's sitting just chilling there.
There he is.
And like, is Bernie Sanders gonna sue a drunk magician and 2 comics that also work in Vermont and pay taxes to pay his salary? I don't know. Maybe. But if you do, come at us.
People talk to your people, Bernie. All right?
Oh, that's a good... Jason asks...
There is. Someone did get that tattoo the day after.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Jason asks, I'm curious if anyone would get the Bernie meme tattoo. Like,
Kate
I won't.
Clancy, who hopefully is going to be a future guest, actually has been on the Bernie campaign and actually has a tattoo of Bernie, and on her arm, it's kind of the stick thing of it. But hopefully we got a future guest with the Bernie tattoo.
That would be great.
Before he wore mittens, my friend.
I was gonna say, I don't think I believe in anybody strong enough to get a tattoo of them.
I always believe the theory of, if you're dead, I'll get a tattoo of you, because there's nothing you can do to fuck up the your reputation at that point.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you remember there was a Red Sox campaign called like We Believe 03 or some shit? Like, and everyone thought the Red Sox were going to win the championship. Guess what? They didn't. And there was so many Boston fans who got that tattoo that said "We Believe." And guess what? You can believe all you want, but the only thing you're gonna believe is the Yankees are gonna fucking blow it out the fence right now, boys.
Every year, there's someone that gets the tattoo of like the Super Bowl, like, oh, Chiefs 2021 champions, whatever, and it's like they lost.
They ain't come close.
You think people would have won when they like misprinted all those papers way back in the day for, it was what, Truman election, where they had misprinted all of the papers for the next morning, and
yeah, exactly. And they thought briefly it was like that was like their La La Land moment.
It's got
or Moonlight or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting towards the end. Oh, we got another comment in.
Browns 2020.
Yeah, Jacob Pooh said Browns 2020.
And show us the tramp stamp, all right? Did you love it or not? Did you commit?
I don't know. I don't know enough about sports to comment. Wait, you did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's. We're talking about shitting yourself, right?
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. So I figured, the last moment of this show, this will be great. I'm gonna have fun with this. We're gonna watch Collins commercials real quick and comment on the blind, because I thought this would be super fucking fun after Captain brought it up. So let me take that overlay off real quick. We got Collins. So please go watch these yourselves. This was actually what Captain was talking about earlier.
To grow, we have to boost our social media visibility. More likes, more tweets. So beginning today, my son Brock and his whole team will be our new senior social media strategists. Any questions?
Since we make radiator valves, wouldn't it be better if we just let FedEx help us to expand to new markets?
I'd admit that's better than a few likes.
I don't have the door code.
You won a contest online to be CEO for the day.
How am I supposed to run a business here without an office?
Fast, reliable deliveries worldwide. FedEx.
Oh, that was wonderful. Oh, I'm glad we decided to do this. Okay, and this one is so please, for everybody watching, get your hate comments ready for us. This is a commercial that Colin did with Gavin McGinnis.
International campaign right here.
It's phenomenal.
Next up, we have an innovative and unusual quartet that will be performing in their underwear.
Athena presents Your Underwear is a Star.
No, sorry, they'll be performing
Jason.
their underwear.
Agreed. That's Colin's butt.
Genius moment in the history of music.
Ew, is that his ass?
Your underwear has now. Join us at facebook.com/Athena. Brought to you by Athena.
If this show was only as good as the commercial produced.
That was the moment that Colin wiped his ass across the founder of Proud Boys right there.
Anyways, about at the end, does anybody have anything else they want to get off their chest before we get on out of here?
Tequila and orange juice is not a good mixer.
Only in the morning, right? It's called the sunrise for a reason.
Yeah, I'm going like, I'm just tired now. I'm not even.
It's because you're supposed to eat it after with eggs and bacon, I think.
It's supposed to be drunk and underwhelming, not underwhelmingly drunk. Okay, I don't know what the hell happened.
Like I said, that's the bridesmaid's drink. That's why she just drinks it first thing before the wedding and goes, now I have to put up with the bride shit. So let's just.
G-Dubs, anything on your mind you want to say before we do some plugs and get out?
I'm good.
Colin, anything you got? You needed to get out before we go?
I would like to say congratulations to Stand Up New York for hosting their first indoor comedy show.
Oh, nice.
In March of 2020. They had a show last night for Valentine's Day. Indoor comedy restrictions per Cuomo and de Blasio's insane restrictions on comedy. But it happened, so I congratulate them on that. Stay tuned for Woolly Mill Comedy Club developments as we seek to hashtag legalize comedy in Vermont and make magic. So thank you, Kaptain Granite. It's great to see you here.
Thank you guys for having me.
See everybody next week.
Captain, anything you want to get out?
Just thank you guys for having me on here. It was a blast and great catching up with both of Colin, Hickory, and nice to meet you, GW.
I thought you were just totally going to leave me out. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? How do you make a connection?
I just wanted to tease you just a little.
Yeah, this was great. Hopefully Captain would love to be back on, and we'll have him back on in the future.
Absolutely.
This would be great to do again. Please follow Captain fucking everywhere. It's CaptainGranite.com. It's at Kaptain Granite. I'm pretty sure he's on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook and Instagram and Farmers Only.
Not anymore. I closed.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No. Did I miss anything there, Captain?
My cousin kept sending me. Yeah.
It's like, you'd really love this cow. Any other socials I missed there, Captain? I hate to not leave you plugged well.
YouTube is the biggest one.
Okay.
YouTube is definitely biggest, and then
YouTube and Twitch.
YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Yeah.
Nice. Follow Foley Kills at Foley Kills. Colin D at Colin D and at Woolly Mill Comedy Club. I'm, of course, from Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming. Next, we'll be back with episode 43 with the Spore Machine, John Spore. That should be fun. We're going to ask him some questions about, does he miss punching people in the face since COVID happened? Has he gotten his knuckles tested? And many other questions we have for people who, fight for a living. So that'll be really, really fun. And, who knows? Maybe he'll get drunk and fight somebody on the stream. We'll see. Other than that, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm really glad that this worked out, and it was really cool to have the crossover. Last comment of the show, Gregory says, Bridgewater only. Bridgewateronly.com. There's only like 200 people on it, but they're all banging.
Pretty sure that's where my cousin is now.
I'm pretty sure I fucked them all. Good night.
I was scrolling through and we found a couple sheep. It was the weirdest thing. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us on the show. Captain, thanks for being here. G-Dubs, Colin, love you guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week with John Spore. And then we're in the fourth quarter, baby. We're playing hard. We got some great guests lined up. It's going to be fun. But anyways, for those out there watching, please remember to stay safe, stay drunk, stay underwhelming. Most importantly in these trying times, stay fucking sane. Have a good night.